Hey everyone, how you doing today? I'm here with another knife review. Today I wanted to show you the collaboration between Hogue and Elishewitz, a custom knife maker. They came out with several different versions of this knife, different models of this knife as well. This is the EX01, the first of them all. They've since come out with EX2, 3, I think maybe even 4, and they're all pretty dramatically different. I didn't really like a lot of the other ones I was seeing, so I got lucky because a lot of times, you buy a knife and then you get, you kind of fall in love with it and then something cooler comes out. For me personally, that didn't happen, but these are the first ones, and man, they are sweet. Basically, their goal was to create a really nice, reliable, durable, tactical fighting knife. And of course, I always kind of say it because a lot of people automatically are like, well, what the hell? It's a folding knife. If you want a fighting knife, get a fixed knife. I know, I get that. That's the best option. But if you were going to use a folding knife for a defensive tool or an offensive tool, fighting knife, this is designed to do that and do it well. And they pride themselves in the lockup and the action that they use and its ability to handle all sorts of different weights. So I'll kind of circle back around to that. First, I just want to touch on some of the specs. This weighs, on my scales, 5.3 ounces. It is a 4-inch blade made of 154 cm blade steel, which has been cryogenically treated. If you're not familiar with that, it's basically them taking the steel, the material, down to, and I could have these numbers wrong, but I thought it was something like negative 300 degrees. I don't know if it was Fahrenheit or Celsius, but the idea is to stabilize the steel on a molecular level, to align everything and give you a very stable and rigid and hard steel. So it really basically brings out and enhances the performance that 154 cm would give you. It makes it as good as it really can be. So that's cool that they do that. It comes with a beautiful stonewash on the blade, which is flat grind up until the flat here, and then you have this wedge on the back, which boasts the Hogue name on this side and the logo. There we go. And then the Elishewitz right here for Alan Elishewitz. Pretty cool. I really like their design. I really like their style. I like that they kept this looking very sterile. They don't have logos all over it. They have, everything right on the swedge, and that's it. I love that. Very clean looking. You have G-mascus here. This is what they call it. It's a G10 with this really unique sort of spotty, layered, I guess kind of like a Damascus is what they're going for. Definitely unique. I've never seen anything like it. And with all of the gorgeous milling and cuts and bevels and chamfers and whatever, all of the mill work on this G10 handle is just exceptional, and it really brings out, even if this didn't have layers, right? Even if it was just all black, all of the design and the styling on it, all of the angles, oh my gosh, the lines on this knife are just gorgeous. But it is made of G10, solid through. There is no liner, no steel liner, nothing like that. There is, however, steel inserts in the bolster area. And I think you can kind of pick that up right there. You can see that shine right in there, right there. That's that bolster area, and it's just inserted in there. It's all inset, so that way you have more rigidity around the pivoting area. Again, like I kind of touched on initially, is they designed this to be able to withstand a ton of torque and pressure and weight. So otherwise, it's all G10. It's kind of a partial flow through. It's open right here, and then you have these really cool angular vents, almost, they look like. See that? Kind of angle that way towards the rear. Kind of cool looking. Not as open as a flow-through design, obviously, but so stuff will get in there, but you can blow it out pretty easy. 3 screws to hold it all together, and integrated lanyard post right there. Kind of a pain in the ass to use it, to be honest with you, to try to get something in there. You can do it, it's just not fun. Some nice jimping here, if you will. It does work. It does have nice edges and is aggressive. It does give you purchase. Same thing on the rear here. This, however, is just kind of rounded off. It really doesn't give you extra traction. On the G10 it does. Now, if you haven't noticed, this being a collaboration with Hogue and all of the furniture and grips that they do, this really is reminiscent of, maybe a 1911 pistol grip, and also how they kind of have that insert millwork there. This is, I forget what it's called, but man, it gives you some really good traction, and I think it looks nice too. Really good traction. Nice finger choil right here. So like I said, 4-inch blade, and the vast majority of it is cutting edge, which is excellent. It is mirror finished. Let's see if I can really pick that up. Nice and shiny, beautifully done, very consistent. The edge geometry is excellent. The edge on this is absolutely exceptional, which makes sense to me. It's a knife. I say that and a lot of people are like, duh, but I'm telling you, it's surprising even now, after all the knives I've seen, how many knife makers are making knives that don't cut very well. It's like, what's the point? It's a knife. Why would you do that? So anyway, slight recurve edge here, just slight, but it is a slight recurve. Okay, the overall length, playing twister with my knife here. The overall length is just under 9 inches overall, according to my measurements, and the thickness of the handle is 0.51 inches. So not bad. It's it's not the thinnest thing out there, but it's definitely not thick and clunky. 5.3 ounces isn't super light, but for a knife of this intent and purpose and design, that's not bad at all. They usually charge right around, I think now you can get them new from a distributor for like $207, I think is lowest I saw it, for this particular version. And I'll get to the other versions in a moment. But I'm sure on the secondary market you could probably find it for less. I would guess right around 200 or 180, anywhere in between there. And if you do find one, if you like this knife and you find one at that price, grab it up, because that's a great value. So we talked about the blade steel. The stonewash finish on it is very nice. Very nice stonewash finish. It's exceptional, really. It's consistent. It's beautiful. Covers everything. Nice blade design too. Okay, slight recurve, so I'm not a huge fan of that. Honestly, just from re-profiling the edge, you could probably eliminate that because the recurve is so slight. You'd end up taking off just a little off the belly here. But that was my next point. There's tons of belly, tons of curvature up towards the tip here. So that's great. That gives you a lot of different capability with this blade design. It's very utilitarian, and having less of a taper as it graduates towards the tip and having more belly like this makes the tip more robust, making it more durable, yet this is still very sharp. So it's a very strong blade design that's going to lend well to most tasks, not just fighting, but anything else you really want to use it for, because it doesn't have an overly ridiculous thick blade stock on it. So again, it slices, and I've used this. I have 3 different versions of this knife. Well, I've had them anyway. This is the last one. And I've used the crap out of them. They cut and slice through materials very well. Steel thumb stud right through the middle there. Very triangular. I don't like that as much, personally. It is stepped and everything, but it's not very aggressive. I like something a little bit more cylindrical, kind of like that. Yes, that's the thumb stud, and I know they're massive, but I like something a little more cylindrical rather than this pyramid. It just seems to purchase better for me. However, that's generally speaking, I do not have any problems getting a purchase on the thumb stud with this knife. So, or any of the EX01s I've handled. So even though I normally don't like that, this has been working well. The stop pin, let me get this to focus here. The stop pin is steel, and it's this little tab with the stop pin here. That is an extension of the steel bolster inset that you see here. You see the outlines there? It goes around this button lock. That is all throughout the bolster area and all around the pivot area. And it extends out for that stop pin. So you have really solid rigidity and extremely well executed tolerances. Very, very nicely done. Nice clean seam back here. Everything lines up very well along the back of the handle. Just really impressed with all of the different angles and lines on this. It is a little bit edgy. It gets a little thin in here, and in that finger choil it is a little bit bitey, you know, kind of digs in a little. It's not uncomfortable, but you definitely feel a little bit of a slight hot spot in there. Yeah. Alright, so I went over the weight and dimensions. Pocket clip, as you can see, you can't switch it. It's only for right hand carry, but you can do tip up or tip down. It comes with this, and I've seen some people laugh and criticize the pocket clip. It kind of looks like a spoon. I don't know. I don't think it's cool looking, but I don't have a problem with it. It actually works really well. It's an excellent design for a pocket clip. You have just enough peak back here to be able to get this to work with just about any, you know, thickness of material, which is nice. And it doesn't get too tall, and then it tapers back down, and then this ramps up just enough once again to give you enough lip to fit over most edges of pockets or straps or whatever you want to hook it up to. So I think this pocket clip is low profile, rigid, but has just enough springiness so it's not too firm. And I think it's excellent. I think aesthetically, if you don't like the looks of it, you could always just take it off and Dremel this and make it less spoon shaped. You could just, you know, make it something more like that. But it's excellent. It's a very good pocket clip. You do have a fair amount sticking out of the pocket. It's such a large knife, not a big deal. It's all going to stay in your pocket, no problem. It's not going to fall out. Also, it's nice to have a little bit more sticking out for a knife like this. If you have gloves on or something and you want to get access to it, you'll be able to get a hold of it. The action is smooth. It is on washers, not ball bearings. The lockup is super solid. No blade play in any direction, like a vault, as they say. And this button lock is awesome. Okay, so it's just like a lot of automatics you've seen. You push the button, it spins open, and then that little button pops up with a spring in here that forces it up and into this curved relief area right there. You'll see it move to the right there, and as soon as it clears the button pops in there and locks it open. Just less than 50% lockup right there, and it is very rigid. No movement even after I've thumped on them. It has a lock that only locks in the open position, which is, I think, probably the best case scenario. A lot of people who don't like locks on their knives, I'm one of them, don't like the idea, and I don't want to speak for everybody, I'm sure there's other reasons, but the main reason I don't like locks on a knife is if I lock it closed and for some reason, you know, in the heat of the moment, if I need to deploy the blade rapidly, I don't want to have a problem with, it's not unlocking, it's not deploying, and I have to, oh yeah, it's locked, and then, oh crap, you know, too late. So this is nice. You can try to engage this, blade still deploys, finish pushing it up, blade does not close on you. You'll hear a little click, listen. Right, so there's just a tiny, you probably can't even see the movement. There's a tiny bit of depression on that button lock, but it doesn't come clear to getting out of the way of the blade tang. Not even close. As you can see, it's still fully engaged. And so it works. I guess that's all I'm really trying to say. The lock works. You disengage it and push in, and there you go. Now, they did make versions of this knife that are automatic, and it makes sense because, like I said, this locking mechanism is very, very similar to most other automatic knives. Even on this little Benchmade lurch here, same sort of thing. You can see where it gets broader. I'll push on this button and that will pop up into the frame there. See that moving up in? And as soon as it breaks free, that blade pops open. As soon as I close the blade, you'll see that portion drop down. See that? It's the same concept. Right? You just put a coil spring in there and it's an automatic. So it was kind of a shoo-in for that, and they did it, and that's great. I think a lot of people probably loved that. I didn't handle or touch any of the automatic variants of this knife, so I really can't comment. I don't know how well they deployed, how reliable they were, but I do know on all the manual versions of the EX01, it's been excellent. It's been solid. I think they look really nice. It's just a good, hard use folding knife. I think it is good looking, so it's collectible. There aren't a ton of them out there. I don't really know how sales did, to be honest with you. My gut tells me the sales were decent. I really don't know, but they ended up coming out with like 2, 3, 4 other versions, so they must have been selling to some extent. But I think they're really, really nice knives. I think a lot of people don't know about them, so I really wanted to do a review. I just never got around to it until years later after owning it. But yeah, I think it's a really good knife. For what you can get it for now, just over $200, I think it offers good value. And now I'll get into some of the other options out there. You have options, let me tell you something. This is the large option. There's a smaller one. It's a 3.5-inch blade. So if you're thinking 4 inches, hell no, that's too big. That's fine. 3.5 is an option for you. If you want something that looks a little bit different, it's the same design, okay? It's just shrunk down a little bit. The blade shortened, the handle shortened a little bit. As you can see, there's plenty of extra space on the handle, so when you get the shortened version, you're still probably going to have plenty of space. And they come in different color options. So I honestly can't remember if they came with any coated blades on the EX01. I know on some of the other models, EX02, etc., you could get black blades. I just don't recall seeing those for the EX01. Now the EX01 came with 2 different blade types. You had the the drop point like this, and you have a tanto. And I remember seeing a lot of the tantos selling like crazy. They were very popular. It's a good looking blade, definitely. Also, so you can get tanto and 4-inch blade, and you can get the tanto and the 3.5-inch. Okay, same thing for the drop point here. Now, the material, you can get this G-mascus, which is a G10, and this is the gray and black layered, if you will. They also come with like an OD green and gray, or OD green and black layered as well. So that's pretty cool too. So you have that option if you want the G10. If you don't want the G10, it comes with, and it's the same design except there is none of this sort of milling, which I love. I think it looks awesome. If I recall, they're just lines, linear lines going the length of the handle on both sides. And it's aluminum, type 3 hard anodizing, nicely done. And you can get them in black, and you can get them in, they call it OD green, but one thing is their anodization colors that fell under the title of OD green varied dramatically. And that's not really a criticism, it's honest to God truth. Like I said, I had a lot of these, I've seen a lot of these, and some of my friends had them too. And I've just seen everybody say the same thing. Mine's supposed to be OD green, it's straight up gold, or like a desert sand kind of color, or like a foliage color, or like a desert coyote color. I mean, all sorts of shades and in hues of green and tan and brown. I've seen them in brown too. And they're all supposed to just be, to my knowledge, OD green. I got two. One was definitely like perfect spot on OD green, and the other one I got was gold. I mean, not like tacky, rapper gold, pirate's booty gold. I'm talking about kind of a brownish goldish color. So it still looked really good, not like some pimped out knife, but it was definitely not, it didn't really have that green color to it. So if you order one with that, just keep that in mind. It may come something other than green. But you have those options, you have those size differences, you have the blade differences, so you have a lot to choose from. And they're excellent knives. For a size comparison, actually, let me just show you a little bit more of this knife in my hand, just so you see how it looks. It fits and feels really good. Nice size blade. Like I said, the jimping is really useless. When you have gloves on, it does help a little bit, because it your material of your glove can kind of get into those channels a little bit better. But they don't really serve a whole lot of purpose, these more than just looks, in my opinion. Lock works. Very nice knife. I am a fan. So, size comparison. I have a lot of large knives, I have a lot of tactical folders, and honestly, I just didn't have a whole lot that compared in overall size, dimension, and they're all just kind of different. So, very different. So I had a hard time finding something that I had that really compared. So what I have here is the Riot District 9. And really, it's more dimensions than anything. Okay, they're both really robust. I think there's a similar footprint to these knives. But as you can see, there's a ton of differences. I mean, thumb stud deployment, flipper, one is like a boat anchor heavy, the other one's not. The one's a little bit more custom clip, the other one's not, spring clip. Not that that's bad or good, but that's just the truth. One's all titanium for the handle with a frame lock and over travel and all this, and the other one's G10 or aluminum, still much lighter than titanium, and a button lock instead of frame lock. This one does have thumb studs, but you can't really, you can deploy with it, but it's really designed to be a flipper. And these thumb studs are used as stop pins. But I just thought, by looking at them out of all my knives, I thought that they were similar in size and dimensions. They're both pretty robust and thick, and they're large knives. Again, looking at, I think the District 9 has close to a 4-inch blade. Let me take a look here. A little bit shorter. I'd say just like 3.8 inches. So the Hogue EX01 does have a little bit longer blade on it, but yeah, similar. This is about as close of a comparison as I can get you, sorry. But if you kind of compare these knives, if you're looking for something larger and more robust, they're comparable in price. You can get the EX01, like I said, brand new. I'm sure you can find better deals. I'm just looking at online, websites and distributors. About $207 for the EX01 and about $200 for the District 9. Unless you go the District 9 Plus, then it's a little bit more. So comparable, right? Very similar. You're getting great materials on both of them. The District 9 has S35 VN blade steel. My camera is so lazy tonight, it just doesn't want to focus. Nice stonewash, different design stonewash, or different type of stonewash. They seem to use a much finer media. Here, it's just gorgeous. This looks almost like they use a really rough media and then a fine one over it. There's just more depth. Does that really matter? No, it's just, It seems like the fit and finish on these both have their strong points. They're both excellent. The edge on the District 9 does not touch the consistency, the quality, and the polished finish of the edge on the EX01. Just side note. Both have awesome blade options. The District 9 here comes with different blade options as well, different handle options as well, but not a huge difference in sizes. What you see is what you get here. So you do have options with the District 9 as well. The difference, in my opinion, the EX01 is a little more practical if you want something you're really gonna use. If you want something just big and cool for your collection, for your pocket, to show it off, something you'll still probably use, but definitely not as practical, I think the District 9 is a win because it's really cool looking. They both are. It's very unique. If you don't like the Tanto, they have a drop point. And you got some really cool, really more custom feel to the excuse me, to the District 9. You know, more titanium, different color anodizations, you know, the custom machined titanium pocket clip rather than just a spring clip. These extra features, lock bar inserts, and big, fat, robust everything, you know, pivot pins and collars around it. And I mean, just look at it, you know, it's pretty cool. It's, I think, more of a showpiece. Now, don't misunderstand me. This thing, I know for a fact, the District 9 can take a beating. No problem. It's a very well built knife and you can use it. But it's really heavy. Like, I forget. Let me be more specific. Hold on. Let's see. Wow. It's actually heavier than I thought. 7.7 ounces for the District 9. 7.7. More than 2 ounces heavier than the EX01. And trust me, 2 ounces might not seem like a lot to people who know knives and who know gear, but it's a massive difference, especially when you're talking about you know, 5 and 7 ounces getting up there in those weights. That's heavy. So you're gonna know you're carrying this. You're not gonna want to carry this on you, you know, all the time. If you're looking for one solid, really well-built, rigid, robust sort of knife, you're just not gonna want to carry this as long. Okay, it just won't happen. It won't end up in your pocket as much. You don't have as much options with the pocket clip. It's just not going to work as well with as many different pairs of pants or whatever tactical gear you might be wearing. Oh, now I'm looking at this one other thing. Look at the blade centering here. Very good. Perfect blade centering here as well. Perfection. Oh yeah. So, you know, that's the thing. They're both great knives. They're both made very, very well. Great attention to detail, fit and finish and all that. Good materials, you know, really unique, beautiful G10 with a ton of millwork on it. Cryogenically treated blade. Slightly superior blade steel on the S35 VN, but it's not cryogenically treated. So in my opinion, it's probably, you know, kind of a wash. I would still choose S35 VN, but excellent. You know, we're splitting hairs here, and with that edge, you can split hairs. So, excellent knives, excellent design. This one, the EX01, is more ergonomic than the District 9. So you're gonna definitely be more comfortable cutting hard and using this knife. It is lighter. You're gonna carry it more comfortably and better because of the pocket clip. It's just a knife that I think you're going to probably want more if you really want a hardcore user knife. But if you really don't need that, this is a good alternative. And there's other ones out there too. This was just, like I said, all I had. So in summary, the EX01, it's been proven. They've done all these crazy tests with the Lockup where they've, you know, viced up the handle and they've put, you know, a couple 100+ pounds on the blade until the lock failed, and it surpassed like the vast majority of other hard use competitive options out there. If you want more specifics on that, because I know I'm being a little vague about that test, it's on YouTube. I believe Alan Elishewitz himself, sorry Alan if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, I believe he did it. So if he has his own YouTube channel, maybe start there, but you can find that. So yeah, it really is impressive. The engineering, the design, the thought that went into this knife, and the vast amount of options you have if you don't like this model or this size or the color or whatever. So there's a lot out there. So, you know, consider it if you're looking for a knife like this. I think it's a very good option. I think you'll be happy with it. Thank you very much for watching. I know I sound like a broken record, but I really appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel because it helps motivate me to continue bringing you content. I've said it before about expanding the channel. It's actually starting to happen. Just want to let you know. I'm starting to do video footage of, I don't know, things like this. Yeah, guns. Why not, right? Or even, I don't know. This is sad that this is the first whiskey I grabbed, but Old Weller. So I just got that on my last little trip out of town. Somebody told me it's similar to Pappy Van Winkle, so I had to try it. Anyway, yeah, whiskey, cigars, guns, gear, all that good stuff. I'm going to start bringing that to you. And I value your feedback. If you guys like this video, you like some of my other videos, I encourage you, let me know what you'd like me to change, what I can improve on, what you do like, what you don't like, all that jazz. So thanks again for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and have a good night.